Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends. It is Sunday. It is 2 minutes past 1:30. I am your host, The Gub, and this is Talking Town, the platform for the fans, by the fans. And we're here to discuss the mighty Super Blues winning 1-0 away at Loftus Road in a totally different way than the previous fixtures, it has to be said, setting a new club unbeaten record, all competitions of 21 matches, surpassing the run achieved in 1980-81. If you can tell me about that team, I'd love to hear about it. I'm sure you probably can. It was scrappy, it was tough. Some will say it was lucky, but today, Hard Truth will deliver their verdict in only the way they can. I would also ask, JD's injury, does it quicken up any hunt for a right back? Or are you happy with Clark managing an Achilles and Dominic Ball, should the situation arise, stepping in at right back? Did yesterday's game show we need some transfer reinforcements? Did we have game changers on that bench at 0-0 for you? What are yours and Hard Truth's thoughts? It is a live show, so we are live. So do expect probably some language that may be a bit colourful, but we do apologise. We'll try and keep that down to a minimum as it's lunchtime. But yes, get active in the live chat. There'll be a live link about halfway through the show to have your say. This is the fan platform for the fans, by the fans, to have their say, totally live, totally unfiltered, about anything they want to talk about in regard to their football team. Let's set a like target. Let's go for 150 this afternoon. Rich will probably say that's too low. Smash it. Let's see if we can smash 150. Let's see how high we can go this afternoon. And of course, subscribe. We have had over 100 new subscribers recently join us, but around 40% of the viewers aren't subscribed. So let's hit the subscribe button today. It's free, it's easy, and you're helping the fan platform to grow, essentially. So share to your friends, town or not. Let's get this platform really growing. I've got a couple of comments coming in. Colin says you can't compare the two. I knew Colin would be in the chat. That's why I mentioned, can you tell me about him? It is what it is. JD looks shaky for the first time in a while. Injured before the game, asked Mike. Don't know about that. John B, we definitely need to have some quality to keep competitive. We've got Marcus. Do you mean being on Leeds? I'm not sure what that's about. Leeds are coming up on the horizon. Rich will answer that. Rob Holmes, questions is what it's all about. You see a question coming in already. Ladapo has played approximately 20 minutes in 3 games. Hurst was blowing at 70, but didn't bring on Ladapo until 92nd minute. Do you think Ladapo has fallen further behind in McKenna's mind? I will start that. We will come back to that shortly. Now, last week I did set a target of about 7,500 subscribers by the time we played Norwich. I said I'd wear a Norwich shirt all week leading up to that game if we hit it. You all screamed at me, no, we don't want to see you in a Norwich shirt. Okay. I do appreciate that. I really honestly do. So I'm going to, yeah, they did. I got the comments. I replied to all the comments, Richard Moss. Don't shake your head at me, young man. We'll have no speculation in this arena, but I'll do a prize giveaway instead. So if we hit 7,500, I'll do a prize giveaway. What the prize is, I don't know. I'll find a good one. And Rich has got 2 tickets that he'll be giving away, I think, if we hit 7,500 subscribers. So hit the subscribe button and let's change your QPR to Leeds. Oh, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Bring on QPR. Well, we dispatched QPR. Now I know what it means. Got you, right.
The media mogul.
We've just lost the teenagers. It's absolutely embarrassing.
Matt Phillips.
This lot don't miss any little detail, do they? Good Lord.
I know. Very observant.
Lord. I know. Observant. It was so observant. I've forgotten I'd even written it. I'll change it in a moment when I get up there and reach the keyboard. But Matty P, welcome in. It's a big day for you, but also it's a big day for our Lionesses. World Cup final, but it ended not the way we wanted.
It was. Did you see it?
I didn't. I'm afraid no.
It reminded me of a League One game with Spain just time wasting whilst 1 up. Loads of like needless stoppages and all that kind of stuff. It was quite a good goal that they scored, albeit Lucy Bronze went from right back on a great run, lost the ball in midfield, and didn't track back in my book, and they scored in the position she should have been in. So that was a bit disappointing, but look, they done great to get to the final. If you'd spoken about women's football 10 years ago and say they'd have won the Euros and got to a World Cup final in a decade's time, I think the FA would have snapped your hand off. So it's great. And again, you see the country galvanised, don't you? People getting behind it all. Brilliant to see. Hopefully they can build on it. Look, they're still Euro champions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did see the goal, but then I sadly got busy and I couldn't see the rest of the game. But it was disappointing from their point of view, from our point of view, from everyone's point of view, that we couldn't win the World Cup. That's a huge, huge thing. A lot of people in the chat are telling me no one's seen these comments. I tell you what, if you hit 7,500 subscribers, I'll do a giveaway and I'll wear a Norwich shirt. I'm not bothered. Just get 7,500 subscribers and then we'll talk, right? That's the small details. That's the real small detail. Hit 7,500. Get your cat, your dog, your guinea pig, your budgies, all to subscribe. Now, 3-word review coming in. Lots across social media. I'll pick out Kerry O'Brien from Facebook. Connor Chaplin, baby. Before I bring Rich in, just how good was our man yesterday?
Really good. It was a really good goal, wasn't it? Mine would be over the line. We just got over the line, didn't we? It looked like it was going to be a 0-0, didn't it? But again, you get the pivotal players come through when you need them in the Championship. You know, I think if that had been a League One game, we'd been going, oh, it wasn't very good. And, we've got to up our tempo and et cetera, and play a little bit better and find our passes a bit better because we were sloppy in the first half. But in the Championship, I think that goes out the window. It's all about, just getting the 3 points on the board. And bloody hell, we said Friday night, didn't we? If we had 9 points from 3 games, what a start. And then, of course, you said, got 2 home games to follow going into the international break. Can't get any better than what they've done so far. Hats off. If I was wearing a Monty hat today, which I'm not, I don't want a hat hair for later.
No, you absolutely don't. And I don't like to call myself Nostradamus, but I was a little bit of Nostradamus on the fixture reveal show because I did say we'd beat Sunderland, we'd beat Stoke, we'd beat QPR. I said draw against Leeds. And I remember Mike Brown saying Gov's got sunstroke. I remember some of the comments on the actual show between you and Rich.
I think I thought that.
But here we sit.
I should point out, because it's a special day, I am actually drinking beer. So by the end of the show, I could well be on the McKenna out train. Who knows where we'll go in the next hour?
Only top of the table. Right, let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend.
Somebody get the tables. Hard truth are here. Delivering the truth that nobody wants to hear. The Cruncher and the Media Mogul.
The truth of it is, Rich didn't make it yesterday. That's a very sad story.
This is a very sad story. It was all very disappointing.
We play the what was Radio 1?
Yeah, Radio 1.
They used to play.
Steve Wright in the afternoon, was it? Was that it? Was it that show?
No, it was on. Was it Simon Bates?
Simon Mayo. Was it Simon Mayo?
It was Bates. Who's the one who had the big beard?
Oh, can we
I
mention him?
Anyway,
Travis.
For the very rare occasion that people don't follow you on social media, tell the people at home what happened, Mr. Moss.
Well, I was obviously got me tickets. Me and the kids were excited, picked them up, just driving along, just enjoying the sun, a few tunes on the radio. And then we got on the 505 at Royston, just past McDonald's. And there was a big warning light, Matt, come on my car, stop immediately, came on the screen. And then literally got 300 yards down the road and that was it. And I managed to, there's a dual carriageway there, if everyone knows it, going towards Baldock. Just managed to get off the road. I've never actually broke down like that, Matt, before, like on a dual carriageway. And they say to like get out your car, sort of get over the fence. So my timing belt snapped. Good guy from the AA come and collected us, and luckily I give a guy called Kempy on Twitter was going to the game. He got actually tickets in the QPR end. He got 2 of my tickets, so I just rung up their box office, and the tickets are no use to me. So he had 2 of them free of charge, which was good, and he enjoyed the game. Cool. So new car incoming.
Did you say that the timing belt went?
Yeah.
Bad timing that, wasn't it? Oh. Right. I'm
never be a comedian. You'd never be a comedian.
I'm going to take those jokes to the TV tonight because I am live on the TV, 8 p.m. Talk TV. I'm going to take those jokes to the TV tonight. I'm going to bring the A game, right?
Are you on with Piers Morgan?
Where's that? Have you got a segment coming together of Matt's best bits for his 50th?
Couldn't find any, I'm afraid. Could not find any.
Oh my God, the gag
exist.
supplied.
They
The
do
gag
not
supplied. The
exist.
comedy store in here today.
I searched YouTube and it said, but what
How many
was
fortunes?
it?
So you're on with
What?
Mark. Is it Mark
Thank you.
Pugach you're on with?
I'd have to check. I can't actually
Is he a
remember.
town fan?
Mark
That's
Saggers.
it.
That's
Mark
it.
Saggers.
Is
That's
he
gone
a
with
town
it.
fan?
I look at the mogul.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or
He
is
used,
he
to be
Cambridge?
he used to be on TalkSport and obviously gone over to that. Brilliant. Talking
Yeah.
town, going global.
And
Presumably
then
he
I'm
is
on.
global.
Well, I presume it is. You can watch it anywhere. It's free to air, and then I'm live at 8:45 with the last word. So a busy evening
It's
for
on
me.
237, channel 237 on Freeview.
He knows,
think-
on a platform with Piers Morgan and Co.
Yeah. Is
I
that
love
show
it.
taking place tonight then? Is it the last word?
Yes, yeah, it wasn't the last show last week. Don't worry, people.
Disappeared forever. It's
I'll
gone.
blame technical problems.
Yeah, Gov didn't like that he actually. I know why he got rid of the show because he gave George Hurst a 6 because he actually missed George Hurst nearly scoring. I mean, what game were you at?
I don't know. And I had new glasses on as well, so I've got no idea. But I do remember yesterday's game.
Remember that, Matt?
I probably was, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
wait.
probably was. Look, Jack on Twitter had Ladke perfect performance. Phil Blundell asking the chat, what did you make of Ladke's performance yesterday, Rich, out of 10? You know, he stepped in. Have we got a little goalkeeping competition or controversy brewing? Because Ladke's the man of the moment right now.
Well, we hope we have, because if it means when Christian Walton's fit, it means that he's played well up to that point, doesn't it, really? Look, he done everything that he was required of yesterday, right? There was nothing really outstanding. He done the saves he had to make. He obviously nearly got caught out. I think it was Ilias Chair, that one, Matt, right by the touchline. Look, that's the starting position of all goalkeepers now. They're always off their line. And it was really good vision, and he just got back and tipped it over the bar. But he was good with his feet. He done really well. You can't fault, other than the first 2 or 3 minutes at Sunderland, guys, when he looked a little bit dodgy and he gave a couple of balls away. Other than that, he's been pretty flawless so far. So you have to give him credit. And look, it's hard for a goalkeeper when you're second choice, Matt, and you're just sitting on the bench every Saturday. You're training all week and then you're not playing. Now, we said before in here we thought he might move on and go and play first team football somewhere else, which he probably deserves. But he's now got his opportunity, which he probably thought he wasn't going to get at Town, and he's taking it with both hands. And he just needs to keep putting the performances every single week, and then that gives the manager a headache when Christian Walton gets fit. And if he's playing well, and the manager decides he stays in the team, look, so be it. And it's good for Town that we've got 2 really good goalkeepers, who've stepped up to the mark, because you need that really in the league. You need your goalkeeper to. Sometimes he's going to save you. Look, he'd probably make some mistakes. Walton's made some mistakes, so nobody's perfect, but he's been near perfect so far.
Yeah, I did say at the time, if I was Ladke, I'd fancy my chances here, in the sense of you take one injury and suddenly you're in the team and your chances there for a championship goalkeeper. And it came along, and he's taken it, Matt, with literally both hands. And I'm going to credit him with the Armstrong save yesterday. I'm saying he got a fingertip to it. I'm saying he got enough. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm giving my goalkeeper the roses on that one.
East England Daily Times also said they thought he got a hand to it. I actually thought he was man of the match yesterday. I don't know what everyone else thought. I mean, that save from Elias Chair was unbelievable. I mean, look, he was on the edge of his box, ball accounts. Not that we could see that on the TV because he shot from the halfway line. But to run backwards like that and just tip that over. And there was another save from Sinclair Armstrong in the second half when he went through Wolfie and Clark. And then obviously the one, but they hit the both posts. Don't often see that, do you? Both posts. I thought, shit, it's going to go in. But I thought he played really well. And of course, Christian Martin was on Town TV in the studio with Matty Holland. So yeah, all props to Haladki. I think he's doing great. Long may it continue. It's good. He's done his dues. He's sat on the, he's come in, first team goalkeeper, being dropped for Walton. Now he's got his opportunity. And like you say, he's taking it with both hands.
I think if you look at John B's comment there about people wrote him off because he had a dog iffy start. If you look though, Martin, to be fair to him, that was when we had the massive turnover of players, didn't we? And there was new signings coming in nearly every week, and he never played 19. In front of a settled defence, really. So now he's just come in. I know, obviously, Dan Ashton was injured yesterday and Clark come in, but it's a settled defence, Matt, in front of him. And that helps him really. I think that he's benefited from having obviously Burgess and
Yeah.
Wolfie in front of him.
He did start sloppily though, didn't he? You know, there is that what you've said,
At
but he did
Sunderland.
also
Sunderland last
at
season.
the start of his
With
town
Silver.
career. You know, I remember one of the instances where on the platform we were talking about how I felt he was at fault for the goal, but he's come in and he's taken it with both hands. He's made a claim. And he's given McKenna so far, touch wood, exactly what he needs to do.
You have to give Rene Gilmartin big props as well, because he's working with all these goalkeepers, you know, so they've got that continuity now throughout the club in all the positions, and they like coaches, everything's set up, and it's set up to make it easier for the players, I think, Matt, you know.
Absolutely. Don't forget Lee Grant, of course, keeper, now striker coach, whoever it is. I mean, you can even call upon his expertise. No, he's done great. Look, everyone forgets Walton had a nightmare on his debut, the 5-2 with Bolton.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a little harsh on the lad. He gets dropped. Bolton comes in, he has a mare. But look, sometimes the keeper's only as good as his defence. And like you say, Wolfie and Burgess have now done what, some 20 games plus unchanged at the back, maybe from that Cambridge to Keogh game onwards. So great. I mean, look, we complain. Well, I complained too much last season that McKenna changed it round too much, needlessly, and here we are with, you know, an unchanged side, as you predicted, mine.
A lot of people have been sort of asking this question in my WhatsApps, on social media, in the chat there. So I'll pose it to you and then I'll bring another 3-word review in. Can we sign Armstrong, please, from QPR?
Well, I tell you what, some of the lads on the Discord today were saying, well, is that not just Hadmi vibes? As a good game against us, we go and buy him. But he certainly looks a prospect. And he's their only striking option with Dykes out of the equation. And when he went off and they brought on the other lad, you know, they didn't have anything up top, did they? But he looks very good. He looks a very good player. Was he 20 odd? 20, 21?
Very young. Gareth Ainsworth said he can go to the very top for him. He just needed confidence, you know, and that's what he's got now. And he played well against Cardiff, you know, so it's not like it's a flash in the pan. It's just against Ipswich. But he really, Rich, yesterday, I would have loved to have seen him coming on for George Hurst when George Hurst has run his race, because it's very similar type of centre forward, chases everything, big, strong, and he should have got probably 2 goals yesterday, to be fair.
Yeah, look, the pace and power was like, it was too much for Wolfie to handle a couple of times there, you know.
And Clark.
Yeah, the one there, that one, he just literally breezed past both of them, and you think, and then he had a little bit of a bad touch, didn't he? He got his shot away, but Halaki blocked it. Look, that's the first time I've seen him play, and I thought, blimey, they look like they got a player there. But
with their FFP though, and their monetary issues that obviously we were talking about with Loft for Words midweek, could there be a deal to be done there? You know, could you fancy it a little bit?
I don't know. What would they be expecting for him? He wouldn't be selling him cheap. That's for a fact.
Well, strikers don't come cheap, do they?
A couple of games, but look, he looks really raw. But I think for them, I think they need to keep hold of him. And I was pretty impressed with them yesterday, because for all the talk we've heard that they've been under Ainsworth, they've not had a great record. But I thought, with taking off me Ipswich out yesterday, I thought they deserved at least a draw out of that game, QPR. If you're watching it objectively, and I know we all want Town to win, and I get that, and it was brilliant that we got that goal, but they had some absolute... the chance in the second half, what was the fullback's name?
Kakai.
How we missed that, Matt, I will never know. The one that hit the post, and I was pretty impressed with them. And although I listened to Ainsworth's interview on the QPR Twitter feed, and he talks some utter tosh, that bloke, doesn't he? I mean,
I do feel sorry.
It's your fault. You're the manager. Get your players fit. You know, they're dropping like flies in that second half. They played really well up to half time, and it was the injuries that probably killed them in the end. That they had players going down all over the pitch. They're not fit. But stops with the manager, I'm afraid, Gareth. You know, you can wear your red shoes, your winkle pickers, or whatever they were on the sidelines, but it's results that you're judged on. And
there was a bit of a melee at full time with the benches?
Well, I see there was a free kick, the one on Jackson,
right
near the benches, and I see Broadhead giving him a goal.
You're right.
And he weren't very happy. He was at the fourth official, but look, it's how it is. You can say you played as well as you want, Gareth. You didn't take your chances. We know what football's like, Martin. It's all about putting the ball in the back of the net. We had one chance, ended in the net, and we've won the game. So
they have got some decent players. Like you got Begovic, who I think would have been a good backup for us when we were talking about doing another keeper, someone of that ilk. That Elias Chair is really good. He reminds me of a Chaplin, but playing maybe a little bit deeper than what Chaplin does. He looks a very good player. And then, of course, you've got Steve Cook, the defender, veteran. Maybe we'll bring someone similar to that in. And then the raw talent
Steve
that
Cook,
is
the big veteran defender who didn't really fancy it, did he? With Connor Chaplin there, if he goes in 100% there and clears,
he wasn't quick enough. He wasn't quick enough.
Yeah, I just think Chaplin wanted it more. I think he wanted it more.
I think he's been doing some yoga because he sprung off that floor like he was Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, mate. He was up, and it was a finish. It caught everyone, including me, by surprise. Begovic isn't good enough for his feet for this team. I don't think he's an old-fashioned goalkeeper, good goalkeeper, but you're not going to ask him to play out from his feet, is what I think of Begovic.
Well, look, they like to take it long, don't they? And maybe he fits that mold, maybe. But
yeah, fair enough.
On that first half display, they didn't look like a relegation team to me. But like you say, Rich, injuries, you take the Armstrong out of the equation, you take a Chair out of the equation, I think they're going to just struggle.
Yeah, I think in his interview he said he can take impact injuries. There was it Sam Field, the one where he clattered Clark, but there was a couple of them went down. They were getting cramp, and you're thinking, blimey. And that's another thing. And I see Richard Chandler said, I think it was maybe on the Discord. I see it last night. So we're fitter than these teams. We are. There's no doubt we're fitter than these teams.
What about your thoughts on Andre? How do you think he did? He played slightly deeper than I thought.
I thought he played all right, to be fair.
I thought he played really well.
Yeah.
I thought he played really well.
Yeah,
he really stood out.
He done a really good bit of defending there in the second half when the camera work wasn't great because it was showing a replay, and then when they showed it on he's tracked back all the way and he's got in front of Hurst. But look, I know he's got a lot of stick on here, but I thought he played all right for them. I know he's not obviously not a favourite of them. Go from what the guy said on Wednesday, but I thought he had a decent game yesterday for them. I thought, he was all right.
He quickly rotates the ball around, doesn't he? So I'll notice he was not having much more than 2 touches. And I remember at Town, he used to want loads of space and all that kind of stuff. But I thought he did well.
He did appear to bang up for it. Norman says, I'm really pleased with our start, but I'm concerned that the level of mental and physical intensity we're exerting isn't sustainable. We really need some upgrades, which brings me on to obviously the Donatian situation. Donatian going off injury. We don't know if it's a long-term, short-term, a minor precaution, whatever, but he's gone off.
Just a groin, Kieran said.
Just ever pulled your groin? It ain't just a groin, mate. It always hurts.
Horton's is just a foot.
Just a foot.
In a boot.
Yeah. So they do an NFL. Like, what's wrong with so and so? Just a knee. I mean, he's got 2 knees, right? Good. Right. Now what? Yeah. Now what? But he's gone off. Groin injury. Clark comes on, managing the Achilles. Dominic Ball is then your third choice right back. Does that speed up that process if you were looking for a right back? Are you now looking for a right back? Are you comfortable with Dominic Ball playing a period of games there if he has to at right back? What are your thoughts and feelings on that situation, boys?
Go on, Matt.
Well, look, do you know he didn't have a very good, while he was on the pitch, didn't have a very good game. He sort of regressed slightly, hadn't he? From the performances we've seen previously. I mean, that weird pass that set up the Armstrong double post shot.
Great assist.
I'm not sure what he was thinking now. Now, obviously, then Clark comes on, and he didn't really look at the races, maybe to be expected, I guess. Do we really want to go and buy or loan and take up a squad slot with another right back when Dom Ball can probably do the job and hope that, like you say, Rich, just the groin, if Donatian can get back fit? We don't really know. The question mark is over Clark, isn't it? How fit is he really? Now, he's obviously in a good enough condition to come off the bench yesterday, but once we start hitting the Saturday, Tuesday thing, that's going to take its toll. And certainly, as Norman says there, on the level and intensity and tempo that we're playing at, we could see more people drop down and be injured. Again, making reinforcements necessary. So the short answer to that very long ramble is I don't know. It's all over Clark and whether or not they feel like he can start games. He's not started one yet, has he?
This is it. And imagine the Achilles situation, Rich. Dominic Ball is a central midfield player. Traditionally, I wouldn't be comfortable with a period of games where you're saying to me, Dominic Ball is my number one right back. Yeah. Whether that's 3 games, 5 games, whatever, I just wouldn't be comfortable because I haven't seen enough of him there to say.
You've got James Seidman says in the chat you could play Wes Burns at right back. I think he's played there before. And
then who you playing? And that's a great question. But then who you playing at Wes Burns' position? Because for me, Amari Hutchinson is far too raw. He's a young player that will develop over the course of the season. But if you lose Burns,
interesting one with him. What I've seen so far of him, he's played a game 60 minutes against Bristol Rovers, fleeting appearances off the bench. From what I've seen so far, I think Kyle Edwards is as good as him. He's getting, when he comes on, he's one of them players who every time he gets touched, he goes down. He's looking for that free kick, and you're thinking in this league it's a bit more physical than what you're probably used to at your academy level or whatever. You've got to get up to speed with this, and it's, I know it's hard coming on off the bench for what, Matt, 10 minutes here and there, and you've got to get up to speed quick. But I think at the minute, I wouldn't say I've not been impressed with him. I've not been. I haven't seen enough. I've not seen enough of him yet, because there's going to be times when he comes on when we're losing, and you're going to expect him to affect the game and do something. So I think we just have to be patient with him. Edwards, interestingly enough, yesterday, Matt, was at watching Colchester. He was at the game.
Was he?
Yeah.
Ooh, who are they playing?
MK Dons at home.
Oh, MK Dons. Maybe there's a move there. I think, look, I know what you mean about the Edwards comparison. I do get that. But look, Carl's had loads of opportunity to showcase what he can do. And, you know, we've now come to the point where he's going to be departing if someone wants him. So maybe there's a deal there to League Two. If he was at that game yesterday, he suggests it does. But Amari, it's like you say, it's very difficult. Amari coming off the bench for 10 minutes here, 5 minutes here, whatever it might be. He needs to start a game really to really
he's
gauge
far more raw, Matt, than I anticipated when we signed him, and far more raw than TJJ at this time last year, where we brought another young player on loan. And you have to admit, you know, with young players, I said it with Wolfie, and he's come through it. You're going to get that roller coaster of a development. It's going to be great one week, poor another, but he's much more raw than I thought.
When you look at John Jules, he'd actually played some senior football with a few loan moves. I know he'd had a few injuries. I get that, but this is Amari's first. He's played, 2 appearances off the bench for Chelsea. I think he came on an FA Cup game and a Premier League game.
Both Man City, weren't they? And in the Premier League as well.
And he will come senior football. So we just have to be patient with him. But we do need to get up to speed.
He has come to play, though. He has come to play. Otherwise, Chelsea wouldn't have loaned him out, would they? I mean, I'm not going to say, look, he could sit on our bench or we could sit on your bench. So he's come to play.
I don't see him starting much, Matt, when everybody's fit. I honestly don't see him starting.
No. I think the problem he's got, and we always say this, we say it's a bit raw, it's going to be up and down. You tend to get that with flair, pacey players, don't you? We just said it about Sinclair. We've only seen Sinclair Armstrong once. We're saying exactly the same. It just seems to come with the territory. Whereupon Elkan Baggett is raw, but in a more composed way as a centre half. I just think if you've got tempo and flair and the flex and all the thing.
I did say that when we signed him. Let's hope he's not another Louis Barry. I did actually say that. I'm not comparing him.
But to bring it back round to the original point, if you're going to be patient with him and you're going to play Wes Burns at right back, which is what the suggestion was at the original point at the top of the conversation, who you're going to play right midfield? Because if you're not going to play Hudson, you've got to be patient with him. Edwards is out of the picture. This is when we desperately, I'm going to say it. I'll say it.
Shawnee.
I'll say it. I'll say it for everybody here. We desperately need reinforcements. 0-0. McKenna turning round. If I'm McKenna turning around at 0-0, where are my game changers? Who is changing this game?
It's easy to say that, but it's at the minute we've got a brilliant team spirit, so that's going to take us a long way. I think they're all together, and whoever comes in, they might be the best player in the world. If they don't fit in, Martin, if they don't fit in with the culture and everything, we ain't signing them. I'm sorry, that's just how it is, and I think that's how Ashton is. Do we need reinforcements? Definitely we do. Because you look at that game yesterday, it was 0-0 and it was drifting. And I'm thinking, Broadhead's not really got in the game.
Went at the races.
Wes Burns didn't really get in the game, I don't think, yesterday. And he subbed them in the end. But Hurst I thought George Hurst done really well yesterday. I thought with the ball he got, and it wasn't a lot, I thought he worked his absolute socks off. But it's a hot day. You're right, mine. About 70 minutes, he's blowing out of his backside. And that's where you need that person to come on to take the reins and to give a 20-25 minutes spell that he's given for 70. But
Hurst had a chance.
He probably got away with it a little bit yesterday. You know?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. A little bit. If QPR could finish their dinner, to quote John Sitton, then we'd have walked away with nothing.
I agree. Hurst had one chance, didn't he? But we didn't really get. I mean, look, we didn't create enough for Hurst yesterday, did we? When you think back to when he scores at Barnsley, when he's holding off the centre half, and he didn't really get anything like that. Whereupon QPR seemed to give Sinclair Armstrong all the chances he needed. We didn't really create that. But maybe the game would have been different if Burns had scored that from that corner when the cross comes in and he's at the far post and he's headed it just wide.
Missed?
I thought I was in. I was up. Hey.
I missed that
was
chance.
a real
by the way.
chance. That was a real opportunity.
I had to watch it back. I've got a 3-word review. 3-word reviews coming on social media have been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you ever so much. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you're not following it, why not? Daryl Hughes on Facebook. Momentum, determination, and exhilaration.
Keep this going all season, though. Can he keep this 3-word going all season, Mac? Because we know what our gov's like. It's early. We're doing well. Come on. Got to keep at it.
Can he keep at it like you, Rich? We'll wait and see.
I even watched Man United Tottenham last night. Now, how long is that going to continue?
How bad was Man U anyway?
Why are so many squads bloated these days? That's what I want to know. Why are so many? Because they're saying Tottenham squad is bloated, United squad is bloated. I mean, ours is a bit bloated at this level. You have to say you've got a few players you perhaps want to be moving on. Why are so many teams got bloated squads these days? What's the situation there? Like, is it bad recruitment? Is it too much money in the game? What's going on?
I don't know. Is it managers just trying to cover all the bases? I mean, look, Spurs desperately need a Kane replacement, don't they? I don't think that Richarlison is the answer.
I've got an opinion on Harry Kane. I think that could be the best thing to happen to Tottenham, Matt.
Maybe, yeah, maybe now you've cut ties.
Yeah,
and he scored on his league Bundesliga debut, 4-0 against.
Who against? Not about him. Not about him. I've heard of him.
All right, but this is a good point. Rob Holmes is making it.
Yes, absolutely. I'll come back to Daryl's in a second. Ladapo has played approximately 20 minutes in 3 games. Hurst was blowing at 70 minutes, but he didn't bring on Ladapo until 92nd. What's going on with Ladapo, do you think? Because obviously, Rob asked, do you think Ladapo has fallen further behind in McKenna's mind? Well,
how long did Hurst play yesterday? Because that was probably the longest he's played. Was it into the 80 minutes? It must be.
Yeah, easily, yeah. He
came close to actually filling a 90-minute game for the first time.
Play the whole game here, and then I see Freddie, and I thought, has he fallen down the pecking order? Possibly.
Could he be moved out before the end of August?
If you can get an upgrade in, I think you might move him on.
Maybe. So I can't remember. He was on one of the Durrant's family on Discord. Put. I wondered if McKenna would look at Dane Scarlett, who I know you've mentioned, Rick, previously. And McKenna had said, has worked with in, I think, the Spurs set up when he was a kid, and he still is a kid, I suppose, but when he was a younger kid, and had actually gone on record to say one of the best young strikers in world football.
That's what he said.
World football.
Yeah.
I mean, look, surely they must have gone back to Spurs on that one. If he said that, I would have thought. And again, does he bring a slightly different profile? I mean, look, it's similar to Caden Jackson, although, props to Caden. No one's going to call him one of the world's best strikers, but he's got the pace, he's got the energy, he fulfills a similar need. Whereupon I think that Sinclair Armstrong, someone of similar to him.
You also need the quality. You also need the quality as well, I think. It's all right having pace.
You do need the quality.
Let me put my Ashton hat on a minute. Why can't we do Cash and Ladapo for Armstrong?
Oh, okay.
You know me. I like my cash and players deal. I've been trying to sign cash in for cash plus fridge. That didn't come off.
Still at Derby? He's still at Derby, isn't he?
Brighton are after him. Brighton have offered 3 million, but they wanted him. Derby wanted him back on loan for the season. So I think he might go. I think he might go.
Told you was good. Told you began big things. Nobody listened because he got burnt by Wes Burns once. Nobody paid attention. But let's see where it goes. But as Darryl said, before I bring in or drop a link, exhilarating, momentum, determination. Which one of the 3 aspects of Darryl's comment and our performance yesterday would you pick out as sort of the shining light, Richard Moss?
Was it exhilarating? What's the second one?
Determination.
Yeah, I'd use that. I don't think we're exhilarating anywhere. I don't think we haven't played anywhere near our best yet, and we've won 3 games.
What about the first half with Stonecrow last week? That was impressive.
Played well for 35 minutes, but 90 minutes performance. If you look at that game overall, we had less possession than they did.
It was just clinical, wasn't it? And the passing was slick, and you had the atmosphere.
We are going to have to find different ways to win games, Matt, in the league, because we ain't in control. And I said that last week. We ain't controlling the game as much as we did. We did second half yesterday because they obviously had some injuries that sort of hampered them.
Stoke won yesterday, beat Watford.
1-0.
They did. Little Watford.
The dark horse.
Yeah, I think it's determination yesterday to grind them results out. when you're not at your best. We kept a clean sheet, which is important. And we had a little bit of luck along the way, which any team needs luck. You ain't going to win everything by playing well, scoring goals. You do need a little bit of luck. And yeah, it didn't go in. Them two that hit both posts, the one that flashed across, the shot he had from the halfway line. I thought it was probably just going to fizzle out a little bit, Matt, to a 0-0 draw. And I wouldn't have. Anyway, let's go back to when Gov was just bigging himself up a little while ago about when he was on the beach there saying WWWD. Hang on. How come in the preview show you said it was going to be 1-0?
I was tempting Lady Fate into a trick and it played a charm, mate. I was counting the cards. You see, I'm going
to keep on the 1-1 train because we keep winning every time I say it. That is impressive. That is impressive, though, isn't it? 2 clean sheets for my first 3 championship games. We have to, even though, one's at home, you've got to be impressed with that. That's look, it's a great start. Fantastic start.
And it's that momentum that we're carrying over that perhaps Wednesday aren't, because they've changed their squad a little bit and other issues, which Daryl's 3-word momentum. We're bringing that into the season. We're carrying that tidal wave with us. We do need a little bit of 100,000s on the cake. The cake is set. Just need a little bit of sparkle and magic, I feel, to really
sprinkle.
Yeah, just tip us and make us those contenders that everybody keeps talking about as being.
Well, we'll see next week when we play ex-Premier League players in Leeds.
They're in disarray. That's a real good time to be playing them.
It is a good time to be playing
on paper, yes, but on grass, as QPR proved yesterday, if they're the second worst team, in this division, and they can have the chances.
There's no easy games, Gov. We know, in this league, if you're a little bit off your game, you're going to probably end up defeated. And yesterday, we were probably a bit sloppy in that first half. Like you said on the WhatsApp, it was a little bit like Sunderland, wasn't it? We were sloppy in possession.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
The ball away.
But could easily be one up.
We hang in there. We hang in there, man. Could easily be one up when you're not playing well. And if you don't concede when you're not playing well, you're going to get a chance somewhere along the line. And look, Chaplin, Johnny on the spot. Would George Hurst have got up that quick off the ground? Probably not. It was because of Chaplin, small in stature, and he just got in there and he wanted it more than Steve Cook. He said, I'm having myself a goal here.
Low centre of gravity, you say?
Yes.
It'd be very interesting to see if Ipswich have a new face next week. And I would imagine as we head towards the transfer window closing, I would imagine Leeds will make some moves this week as well. So it'd be interesting to see what the lineups are going to be next week. Weeks is a long time in football.
On to Bournemouth. What's the lad who's signed for Bournemouth? He's gone.
Tyler Adams.
Yeah, he's gone. There's about a two line on the Leeds Twitter. Not thanks for your efforts or anything. Basically, signed for Bournemouth. See ya.
Yeah.
Out.
Right. You keep talking about Discord, so I'm going to play the little fifth stand ad. Before I do that, link is now in the chat. Jump on, have your say about your football club. Don't forget, if you don't get on at lunchtime, we are live again this evening, 8:45, after I've been on Talk TV, 8 p.m. Don't forget.
Make sure you watch it live because it might disappear.
Tune in. Well, the first thing won't, because I don't control Talk TV.
Who are you going tonight? Who are you going tonight with you? On the
Richard Walking Chandler.
I hope his feet are all right.
Yeah, I'm going to call him the Proclaimer.
Well, you didn't walk 500 miles, you walked 19. Well done.
Hey,
shout out.
A mile's a mile. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want his shoes,
put
it that way. I wouldn't want his shoes, put it that way. Right. Links in the chat. Here is me. Everyone at home, if you can and if you want to, please do support the platform by becoming a fifth stander today. Fifth standers are the backbone of the ITFC Fan platform. They allow us to purchase new equipment, create content for everyone to enjoy, and support me as a content creator in planning and pushing further and further ahead, having the ability to try new things that take the platform further and allow me to build on the success after success. Do you know, in day one, only a couple of years ago, we had 293 viewers for our flagship podcast. Today, we have had over 2,500 views on the latest flagship podcast. Phenomenal growth, phenomenal support, phenomenal encouragement. And for that, I can't thank you all enough, but particularly a huge thank you to the Talking Town fifth standers, the backbone that has created this, that has allowed it to flourish, allowed it to grow. Now, I'm working behind the scenes on creating more content. That's right, more content that is just for you, the fifth standers. However, for now, A perk of being a fifth stander is getting access to our Discord server where you can talk about all types of things, but in particular, our most wonderful football club 24/7, 365 with contributors and other Talking Town community members creating a good, positive debate with some differing opinions. And there is some really good debate on there. So if you want access to any potential bonus content, please scan the QR code on the screen right now. That takes you to our Kofi page, or head to our main page on YouTube and click the join button. Links are in the chat or in our description if you're watching on catch up. Multiple options are available, starting with just $4.99 a month, which I personally think is absolutely epic value for the content created. And I just hope you all agree at home. All options are in your control in terms of cancelling at any time should you wish to. So please become a Talking Town fifth stander today. Right, back to the content, back to the show, back to me. Thanks, me. Right, there we go. Bring in Matt, bring in Rich. Did you hear that statistic? 293 for our first one, over 2,500 for last week's one.
Good
Progress.
stuff.
It's not too bad.
Anyway,
Right
I've got one
down.
thing.
Climb the ladder.
To chat about anything before. I'm going to ask you this question every single week until they turn up through my letterbox. Where are my drip socks?
Oh, your drip socks. I thought, this is not a paid plug, by the way. I thought you were on about our friends at Manscaped.
Oh, there they are, Matt.
Oh my God! Now
it
bring
is.
them next week when he comes to mine.
Unopened. Look. So you
Look
can
at
get your
it.
ball trimmer.
Yeah, I
Fresh
hope they're
off
not
the
open
press.
and used.
Fish off the press.
Nah, not used.
Come get that dust off the box. I've been there 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. I've dropped the poll in the chat about the 6,500 subscribers. Should I wear a Norwich shirt or not? That will be the defining
should.
factor. We've
You
got to get
said-
there first,
You
though.
said that you were going to wear it, so I think you should be carrying that out.
Look, if we get 6,500 subscribers, I'll sit here in anything you want me to sit here. I ain't bothered. Like, just because I've set an Ashton target.
Free up earlier. Is that how it's finished?
I've got no idea. I'm not bothered about small teams like Norwich.
It's the wall. The wall. No one likes us. We don't care.
We don't care. We don't care. Right. Joining us live this afternoon, is Stephen Barry. This is the beep himself. Do not adjust your sound. The beep has left the room, but Stephen's still here.
And the cats.
Sadly. And the cats. Okay.
Yes.
Talk to me, Steve. Could you want to talk about the goal scorers?
Yeah, there's one thing I wanted to mention is although defensively we've been extremely sound, and that's a big plus point. We never see barring that shot that hit both posts, we never really felt like they were going to score unless we made a mistake. And even that one when it hit both posts, it was really because we made a mistake. If you don't make mistakes, then these things don't happen. But defensively we've been so sound. But it's the fact that we have in 4 games 7 different goal scorers. It's like, who do they mark? If they mark Broadhead, Chaplin pops up. If they mark Chaplin, Burns pops up. If they mark Burns, Hurst pops up. If they mark someone else, a centre back or Mass pops up. Even Mass had a good shot. He was unlucky not to score.
Yeah, it was.
It's like it must be very hard for the defending team to go well. Because if you look at QPR, you mark Armstrong out the game. They didn't really have anything. Barring a worldie from Chur. That's all they had.
He says they did miss an open goal, though, Beep.
Oh, I agree with that, but that came from a mistake from ours. I think was that when Burns played it into the middle?
No, that was the one where he dribbled along the line. I think it was Chair.
Oh, right.
Dribbled
yeah.
in and-
Most of their best
Chair shot.
chances came from
Chair
mistakes.
shot.
Most of their best chances came from mistakes from us. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they didn't have any chances and they didn't deserve to get something out of it. Of course, with the chances they had, they deserve. If I'd have been gutted if we lost that 1-0 and we had them chances.
Yeah,
But the top and bottom of it is we are more defensively sound. We've gone up with the same defences in League One, and we were conceding sloppy goals in League One. He's obviously worked on the defence. I see every day everybody saying we need to bring in a centre back. Who do you replace him for right now? They've conceded 1 goal in 3 games. Same with the right back. I know Danassi didn't play very well yesterday, but neither did Broadhead. It doesn't make him not good enough. It just means he had a bad day. And Broadhead did have a bad day. He was anonymous for most of the game. So I think we have to give a little bit of credit to the players who have got us this far, and a little bit of credit to the players who've won the first two league games. who may not have had a good game yesterday. And, you know, we can't go getting a player because one player had a bad game. You know, we can't go getting a right back because Denassin had a bad game. Because the simple fact is we haven't got a squad for that. You can only have 25. You know, I'd rather have Clark, who I think he ran his socks off. I know it might not have been full pelt, like I said earlier, but he ran his socks off for an hour and he still looked fine at the end of the game. You know, so that to me is a plus point, because I don't think they expected him to do an hour, but he did. And he still looked fine after it. I don't think JD will be out long. He might miss a game or two. But I'd be happy with Ball as a right back just to fill in, because I think Clark can manage. If we could, you know, we can't keep saying, well, what if we get in this injury? Well, what if all 3 right backs? Do we buy 3 right backs? We haven't got space for 3 right backs. So let's just focus on what we've got. We do need additions. Everybody said that. Even the management team said that. Let's see what happens. But we've also got to think about the fact that, you know, do we get better players than what we've got? If we do, that's the only way, in my opinion, we get depth on the bench. Because it's very hard to bring in someone to sit on our bench and say you're going to be
that comment from Leighton Durrant up on the screen. It's a great one. Find a Newton and Ridley's, please, love.
Calm down. I never watched it.
I was laughing at while you were talking. It came through and I was like, oh.
I'd never watch it. It's bloody horrible. Last time I watched that,
Corey? Love a bit of Corey.
I think Len Fairclough was in it.
Yeah.
I think Len Fairclough win last time I watched it.
Bloody hell. He's going back.
Who's got longer hair here? Beep or Gareth Ainsworth? Very similar haircuts.
He has. He looks like a woman. I don't. But the thing is, that's all I'm saying is like, at the end of the day, let's just focus on what we've got. We do need additions. Everyone knows we need additions. But we're not just going to be able to pick up anyone and say, well, you're sitting on our bench pushing this person. And it's unfair just to replace these players because they've got us where we are now. You know,
who are you buying in, Steve? So in additions, are you looking for what we've got better than what we've got, or what can fill in if some of these injuries were to come to fruition?
The only way I think we get equal to what we've got to sit on the bench is if we get better than what we've got in the team and the person who's in the team drops onto the bench. Yeah. You're not going to get someone equal to what we've got on the field. Yeah. Coming here when, like Twine, for example, he's say equal to Chaplin or whatever. Yeah. You're not going to get him coming here to sit on our bench challenging Chaplin when Hull's going to give him a first team spot. It's just not going to happen. So that's probably why a lot of these deals haven't gone through. You know, you're getting players who are going to be like McNally, who's probably going to be in Coventry's first team, but he's saying, you know, he's like, well, we can't guarantee you that because we've got 2 centre-backs who's performing well right now. And I'd feel really annoyed if I was one of them centre-backs and I get replaced by somebody else. But that is football. But I don't think McNally's better than them. I think he's equal to them right now. You know, you'd have to go out and get, like, Trusty, I would say he's better than both of them. Yeah? And I could see that. Him coming in and Burgess going on the bench. I can see that. But unless you're going out getting something like that and paying big, big money, which I don't think we're going to do, we're probably better going, like Rich said, Dane Scarlett, perfect player you could pick up. I don't think he's ever going to play at Spurs. I can see in 2 or 3 years' time a Hurst scenario. So why not make a cheeky bid for him now? You know, get it done and dusted for something they know is going to happen anyway. You know, and let's just see where we go. I do think we'll get players in. I don't think we're going to go mad. I think 2 or 3, 2 at worst, 3 at most. But we also got to think of who's going out. You know, like you mentioned Hutchinson. I like Hutchinson. I think he's got something. And sometimes in a game, he might not do a lot, but there was a lovely little touch deep in our half in second half, and he just flicked it round him and he was gone.
Yeah,
and I think like things like that you don't really notice. And the shot against Stoke, he got that out of his feet so quick. He was unlucky that the keeper just got a hand to it, or that was going in. You know, little things like that can turn a game in an instant. That's all he's here for. He's not here to be the guy who grinds out the result. He's the guy to come up.
I've got a quick question for you, Steve. Do you think the way that we started has made it harder for signings?
What started
harder to
yeah.
Before, say we'd have lost the first 3 games, everyone had been saying, we need this player, we need that player. Now we've won the first 3 games. Do you think that changes things, or do you think their way of thinking would it be the same as if we'd have lost the first 3?
In the fans' mind, probably not. Yeah. In the manager's mind, probably, because he's got loyalty to these players. And at the end of the day, if they're performing the way they are, you know, it's very, you know, as a manager, if someone's doing a good job, or you could say more than a good job, it's very hard to turn around.
Abel's gone. Gov, we'll be back soon, everybody.
More tech issues.
Oh, no.
It's very, like, if you say your job, Rich, if you were doing, you know, your job, and you were doing your job well, and you were getting praise, and suddenly they replaced you with somebody else, you would not be impressed, would you? Well, no.
Who would they be able to replace me with is more to the point. Come on.
That's the discussion we're having, isn't it? You know what I mean? They're doing a good job. They've got us where we are. They've got us up. If they got replaced, as a manager, he's probably thinking, I can do it. And sometimes you have to be ruthless, but you've got to see reason for it. And I haven't seen a reason. I know Wolfie's a bit lackadaisical at times, but you're not dropping him for nobody right now. No, you know, because he offers so much going forward. And Burgess is just like, get past me. Go on, I dare you. And they're not very often. So I've not seen anything. I honestly think we're going to bring in, I can see a Premier League loan. Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me if we saw Scarlett, and maybe a Naldo's centre-back.
Well, I think if you're looking at that, Steve, you're probably looking, Matt, as well, that when the Premier League have to name their squads, because this is when there'll be more activity towards the end of the window. You know, there'll be players that frees up. So that might be the case there, Steve.
Because we know Dane Scarlett's not getting in the Tottenham squad. No. He's probably never getting in the Tottenham team anytime soon. You know, for him, you know, if I would go to him and say, look at George, he was at Leicester for 3 years, never going to look in, you're just getting pushed out from pillar to post, we'll offer you a home. I can do you I'll try and do a deal with Spurs and we'll offer you a home and you will come on this journey with us. To a young lad, you can sell that.
Yeah, great.
You know, and I honestly think that could be a player we buy because he's got a lot going for him.
The problem we got, Steve, I think, I don't know if you agree with this, is if you do actually start making additions to the squad with real quality, like a Dane Scarlett, for example, does that not only crank up the pressure on McKenna to start rotating the side again? Because you can say that about Jack Taylor, Matt. You can say that about Jack Taylor. We've spent 101.5 million on him. We chased him since January. At the minute, he's not going to get a look in.
No. And I had Jack Taylor in my starting before we started. You know, but again, has proved me wrong, and I don't mind being proved wrong. You know, like I said, I didn't have Burgess in my team when I started the season. I had another. You know, but he's proved me wrong, and I'm glad I'm proved wrong. I love being proved wrong. You know, the top and bottom of it is this is where we need to be. We need to be a little bit more, you know, thankful to the players that we have in the building because we're right now, they're doing us proud. It's a long season and it's an easy thing for everyone to say, well, it's a long season. We might drop off. We probably will drop off sometime this season, but so will everybody else. And it's not just a long season for us. It's a long season for everybody else. Look at QPR. Half their team got injured in the last half hour. You know, do you want that or do you want what we've got? I'd rather what we've got. You know, we've got a goalkeeper out injured. That's it. Donassi might be out for a week or two, or he might be back training next week. We just don't know. But I really don't think it's much of it as much as an issue as what we're making out. I think it's because the window's still open. Once the window closes, everybody sees what we've got. If we've got like anything like 10 points by international break, I think we'll consider ourselves that's damn good because I never had us on 10 points by international break, and we only need a point. We need 1 point from next 2 games, and we've achieved it.
We got 2 home games before the break, Steve. We could potentially have 15 points here.
Well, like I said, I'm not going to be bold and say 15 points. If we can get 10, I'll be well happy with that. I'll be more than happy. You know, because at the end of the day, that's 10 games. 10 points. If you just say 40 points keeps you up, we're quarter way there already. And we've got to look at it from that perspective. Stop looking at the perspective, we'll stay top. No, we won't. Let's look at it from the perspective. We're a newly promoted side. Yeah. Let's get to the 40 points, then get to 50, then get to 60 and see where we go. Yeah. Because otherwise we're just putting pressure on ourselves that we don't need.
Well, I think. Look, fans are totally different than players and managers. We're looking at it. Everyone's getting carried away. Yeah. But McKenna's not going to let them get carried away.
No.
The players are just going to keep their feet on the ground, and they're just looking to the next game. I know that's boring,
But I'm thinking as a fan, this is where arguments come in between fans. You know, when people start saying, "Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this." You know, I said right from the start, 8th to 12th. I'm still not moving from that right now. I might reassess it, but I'm not doing it yet. I'll do that maybe in a few weeks' time, see where we are. But you know, if you start thinking because we've won the first 3, we're going to get top 6. If we don't, there's going to be a lot of angry people. You know, I'm thinking temper your expectations just to be on the safe side. If we get better than that, then we can all do what we did last year and be delighted, because last year at Christmas, we were all in doom and gloom time. And then what happened in May? We were all delighted again. So that could happen again. Someone's got to go up. It doesn't necessarily have to be one of the relegated sides. Luton proved that. If you've got team spirit, if you've got a way of playing, you don't always need the best players to go up. You know, and Luton did that. And I think we've got something similar to what Luton have. We've got a way of playing, we've got team spirit, and sometimes that can be better than having the best players.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Great chatting to you. We're going to bring. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Yeah, I think we might have Colin. Maybe it's Colin. It is Colin.
Hello, mate. How are you?
How you doing, Colin? You all right?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, sorry about yesterday, Rich, mate.
Look, Colin, a lot of worse things happen in the world, mate. I'll just miss it.
That is a very, very great point. No, I
still watched it. I still enjoyed 100%. I wished I was there, obviously, but
I said a few people on the coast felt for your boys and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were disappointed, but they just understood. But
yeah. But Rich, you're like me. You look forward to your game all week. I know you do.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
I'm gonna be pointing for the ticket anyway, Colin. So don't worry about
that.
Colin,
anyway,
after 3 games, are we sitting where you thought? Did you predict 9 points? I can't remember. I bet you did.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I predicted 12 out of 12. Rich always knows that. No, it's just me, and it's just me. It's not me like this, looking into some crystal ball. Like I just think, like Rich always says to me, with tongue in cheek, we're gonna win every game, and so far we have. So it's all right. Yeah, but. First thing I'd like to say is a shout out to the fans again, because they don't always get a shout out. Hey, but I'll tell you that look that ground, as Matt Stanhope would tell you. In fact, I think he's writing a letter to the EFL or the Football League. That is a disaster waiting to happen. That end. Oh my God, you can't get out or. I mean, the cobble stand, Rich, we've spoke about before, haven't we?
Yeah.
That is, I arguably say that's 10 times worse. How that gets, I put it in the chat earlier, how that gets a safety certificate, Matt and Rich, I just do not know. It is a disaster waiting to happen, and I hope to God there never is obviously a disaster there. But my God, I just don't understand, Matt. Rich, I don't understand how to get a certificate. It's terrible. Wow. But like I say, shout out to the fans. Fantastic support again yesterday.
Look good, yeah. Look good on TV. Very good.
And Chappers, you know, when he scored, that's what I love to see. I know Rich do, and I know you do. Mallow Gov does. I know we all do. You know, come round the back of the goal, shows appreciation. And what a lovely touch at the end of the game. Just went up to the young lad and gave him his shirt. Didn't have to do that. Love all that. Love all that. Brilliant. But another thing, wait a minute, Rich. Another thing, just before I forget, we were sitting on the coach because one of the gentlemen who was on our coach, I hope he's okay. Well, I know he's okay now. He had his walking stick knocked away, and he had to receive medical treatment. I don't know who did that, and whoever did that wants their asses kicked. But anyway, he was okay. But whilst we was waiting for the ambulance to come back with the gentleman, Jack Taylor went walking past our coach, and the coach had already gone. The team coach had already gone because that was parked in front of our coaches. So he must have.
Yeah, who's your man of the match this day, Colin? Who was your man of the match? Who do you think put in good performances? Those valuable 3 points.
Well, you know, me and Rich spoke a little bit about that last time. I mean, obviously, you've got to say Alagi because Alagi, he did make one or two decent saves, more than decent saves. I would say Morsey again. I know it seems like a bit of a broken record, but Morsey again was dominant in that midfield. Luongo, I thought, also had another good game. Hence why Jack Taylor didn't come on. I must admit, I did say to Matt at half time, Rich, I think it was Luongo got quite an early yellow card.
Yeah, I was going to say about that. He done really
Yeah,
well.
I quite thought, Rich, that Jack would come on yesterday at half time. I couldn't see that coming off, but obviously it didn't.
Well, right, I got a question for you and Matt and everyone in the chat. I thought Luongo yesterday, he was my man of the match. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, right?
Pretty good, yeah.
Would he be the best free transfer signing that Town have made? Because I think it's just incredible. Because when he came in, Matt, and we talked about it on this show, didn't we? Yeah. Oh, look, we signed him. He didn't play for quite a few weeks. He hadn't played for Borough he didn't play for Borough, did he? I don't think he made an appearance for them.
He made one appearance, not senior team appearance.
And since he's come in, it's just unbelievable. Absolutely incredible.
Borough could do with him now. Given the start they've just had.
Yeah, look, Rich, I'm not, and I'm sure Matt isn't. Also, there's no way in the world that I'm going to disagree with that. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, and it's hard. I don't know off the top of my head. An equally good one, or even better one. I can't really think of one. A free transfer, Rich. That's a great shout. Look, he's keeping a very, very good player out of the side, and you know, that's saying everything, Rich and Matt. You know, the fact that he's keeping a £1.5 million. Look, these days, is £1.5 million a lot of money? Arguably not, but it's decent money in a champ, you know. And he's keeping him. He's keeping him out of the side.
You said there, Colin, about you thought he might be subbed. You got to look at his energy levels, Matt and Colin. He was in the box there in the 90th minute, and he nearly got himself a goal. And you think he's still going. Then, and like you said, Colin, he got that booking early, and a lot of managers might have thought, one more. Look, we see the new rules now, what they're like, and some of these yellow cards getting dished out. So you probably might have to sometimes be a little bit sensible with your substitutions. But I think he's one of them players who he's got that experience. He's a little bit like Morsey, Colin. I know, like obviously how he looks, but in his play, if Sam gets an early yellow card, he can manage his way through the game and just keep himself out of trouble. They know what they're doing. Whereas a younger player might have a yellow, bit too over-enthusiastic, commit another foul. Going back to the women's game this morning, and I mean, so inconsistency, the referees there, Matt. The Spanish girl had been yellow carded and she throws the ball away with about 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, she's got
a yellow card and they're not given. So just little things like that Mass and Sam definitely, they know how to manage themselves, Colin. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, Rich, you were saying about that chance that Luongo had, right at the end of the game there. You know that ground as well as I do, Rich, and so do you, Matt. And when obviously you're right on top, right on top of the goal kind of thing behind that goal. And I'll tell you what, as soon and Matt Stanner and his boys and everybody who were around us were exactly the same. As soon as Luongo hit that, Rich and Matt, I'll tell you what, I went goal. I'll tell you what, Begovic, I've got a lot of time for him. He's a decent bloke, and he's more than a decent goalkeeper. I'll tell you what, that was when you saw that from right behind the goal, that was one hell of a save, one hell of a read.
He sort of wrong-footed him a little bit, Colin. He was sort of going sort of to his left, and he sort of had to get back. And probably helps that he's got big long arms, and he kept it out, didn't he?
But see what, Colin, we're gonna wind the show down. Martin's not returning. His cable has melted. He's told us. So
just one last point. But one little shout I've got to say. You know, Cook, who used to play for Bournemouth,
Steve Cook.
He was brilliant yesterday. There was somebody who got injured, and he was near the post. You know, you might have seen it on the telly, and he came like round the not round the back of the goal, but like round the side of the post, and he was literally just talking and laughing and joking with Ipswich fans. Just talking to him.
Just quickly
And then
about
the little-
Steve Cook. Did he get away? Did he get away with one yesterday, Matt and Colin, on George Hurst in the second half?
Cool.
I don't think. I don't. Watching on
didn't
TV,
think
I
it
didn't
was.
think that was a pen. I
I
didn't think it was.
it's a foul, but I think the way Hurst sort of
Went down.
it's the way he sort of his body sort of goes. If he's gone down normally, I think he could have got it. I think he goes down a bit too theatrical for me.
Did you think that was less of a penalty than the one at the Sunderland, Rich?
What, the one on
Than
Hurst?
than the one we didn't get given at Sunderland?
That was definitely a pen. The Sunderland.
Oh, that was nailed on. That was nailed on. And they had a little shout as well, Matt, second half.
The Burgess
Up
tackle.
their end, which was
Yeah, they did.
possible, maybe, but it wasn't given anyway.
Oh well, we got them
I do
3
agree
points.
with you. What you both said earlier on, I didn't think he was exceptional. I thought he was maybe. I know Rich will hate me saying this. If I had to give 0.5s, I'd probably give him 6.5, possibly a 7. I must admit, I thought Andre Dazelle had he had a decent game. He had a decent game. But I tell you what, I was more than overjoyed when I saw him in the lineup. You know, when I knew he was against Borsey in Luongo.
Last question for you, Colin. Are you expecting anyone to come into Portman Road this week ahead of Leeds next week?
Well,
any new signings? What do you think?
Like people have been saying today, you know, like we didn't do what we could have done. We all know about that era, you know, under Mick and stuff. When we come on, my only shout to Mark would be, Mr. Ashton would be, come on, let's learn our lessons. And we've got off to a really decent start here, and let's strike while the iron's hot. You know, I'm a great believer. I know Rich reckon it could go one or two ways, and I understand that. But if I was a player and a decent player at a championship level, and I was maybe a little bit iffy about, just a tad, a little bit iffy about coming or not coming, and I saw them top of the table, 3,000, 4,000 travelling away most weeks. Rich knows that, and so do you, Matt. I think that might just about tip the scales for me. And I do expect 1 or 2, Matt. I don't think it'll probably be more than 2, if I'm honest. But if we get to, like, learning lessons, like I said about, you know, like I had me, we keep talking about it, but we must learn a lesson from that. If we just get a couple in, let's get a couple of quality in, and let's keep this run going.
Brilliant. Okay, then let's leave it there. Thanks, Colin. Thanks, Rich. Don't forget, we've got Martin on Talk TV this evening at 8. Oh my God!
There he is. There is a young. How old were you there, man?
4, maybe.
So that was what kit have you in there? Is that the 81 one?
Or maybe the year before, 80 maybe? 80
Nice.
maybe?
No, I like
pretty old then, 6 or 7.
I like the long sleeves.
I miss long sleeve shirts.
3 stripes. Don't sell them now, do they?
Yeah, look at that. Got my little spectacles on. Yeah, thanks for that, Martin. And Lizzie for sending it over to you. Talk TV tonight, Martin, 8 o'clock. Last word, if you still got a cable for 8:45.
If not, anyone in the Stowmarket area, and you get around to Gov's sharpish because he needs a cable for tonight's show.
Yeah.
Actually melting it. Yeah,
I know. Unbelievable. Anyway, thank you all for the birthday celebrations.
In the drying room, that's a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Blimey.
Right, I'm off to have more beers. Thanks for the birthday celebrations. We'll see you all again very soon.
Hope you have a good rest of the day, mate.
Yeah, cheers. I'll see.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get